Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to start a new What If. It is in my Lantern Deku series. So, this one is going to be not really evil Deku, more like anti-hero. Because what he is the orange light of greed. And for everyone who doesn't know what this color does in particular, it embodies, greed. So, the more greedy he is, the more powerful he will get. Actually, I'm mostly going to explain in this one the powers of the original Orange Lantern, as well as how Deku basically becomes an anti-hero. So, the Orange Lantern's power. Just like every other lanterns, you have the light construct ability, flight ability, as well as the capacity of having a costume, breathing space, and basically any language being translated. Those are basically the natural for every lantern. So on Earth, any species, not any species, but any language, he would be able to understand them. Which won't really come in that handy here, but still, it's in the powers. So, these unique capacity that are to that specific lanterns are the power of greed is one of the most powerful lanterns. Reason is there's mostly only a single one of them, which means they have the entire power of the entire corpse, making them a whole lot more powerful than any other lanterns. Simply because the other lanterns need to share the power with the other lanterns in the Lantern Corp. So, in this one, Deku will be more powerful than the other one by just a tiny bit. Not going to make it hugely overpowered. He basically starts with the exact same strength that the other ones have. Other special thing that comes with this one. Every time you kill something, what happens is that you get, the soul, kind of, or the mind of the thing you killed, enters your ring, and you are able to make a light construct of that thing that has the full strength that it had. You have full control of it, even though they have their own personality. They can think, they can talk, they can do whatever they want. Problem is, they do listen to what the Orange Lantern tells them to do. So they still have their personality, but yeah. Also, all of them, every time you kill someone, absorb their powers, their soul, mind, whatever, and that you make a light construct of them, they have a Orange Lantern ring that is quite powerful in itself as well, and basically allows them to do exactly like any other Orange Lantern. I'm going to leave that as well, except that just like for Deku, they don't have a ring, they are just with the power in itself. other specialty of this one, if I remember correctly, comes directly from the greed, in fact. If you truly see something you want, your power is boosted until you're able to get it, or until you kill whatever the hell is blocking you from it. Deku in this one, what he will want will be explained later, but he will have a specific thing that he wants to do to basically allow him to be stronger. Whoops. No matter. So, yeah, those are basically the powers of the Orange Lantern Corps. They are powerful because of those abilities, as well as one or two other things that I'm not going to explain because it's literally not going to be useful. Just like for the voice well, whatever it is, basically making you understand whatever other language they're saying. That's not going to be used as well, but still. So, Deku is born basically a normal kid, just with the problem of wanting, a lot more stuff. Every kid has the problem of, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that. But Deku has it, dialed to 11, literally, at that point. Which basically makes him a danger for other kids. Reason for that is quite simple, actually. When they have something he wants, well, he kind of just push everyone around until he's able to get them. So, yeah, that's kind of a problem. Yeah, sorry about that. So, yeah, basically, Deku is a lot more greedy than normal kids, simply because of how his quirk acts. What do I mean by this is, well, he's greedy by nature. So, that makes multiple problem for him while he's a kid. Inko still thinks he can be brought to the good side, basically with good education, which does work until he unleashes him. Basically, she teaches him that if something is in the possession of someone good, well, of a good guy, you have to ask permission if you can have it. If they say no, you cannot take it. What Deku hears by that is, if the person is evil, you can take whatever you want. So he kind of stops for a while. When he gets his quirk, basically the ability to make light construct and fly, well, basically Bakugo sees him as quite powerful because, well, he's strong, thanks to the physical strength of the lanterns. With his quirk, he basically think, well, when he sees something he wants, he basically just makes it out of light, instead of basically ripping it out of someone's hand. Which multiple people are happy he's doing that instead of hurting people with his quirk trying to get something. So many are pretty much happy that he does that. Inko is as well, for all obvious reasons. So Deku, basically while aging, until he's around 9, just kind of keeps using his quirk, increasing the power, making it quite stronger as well. And the first time that he kills someone is actually after something happened to Inko. They were in the park, basically just going around. They are basically just having fun until someone basically comes out of nowhere, basically ready to use his quirk to get money, basically robbing people in the park. And since those two were basically alone in a far side of the park, he went straight for them. He told them that if they tried anything, he would kill them. Basically, well, the way he showed he would be able to do it is with his quirk, which, think of it as, basically imagine Gentle Criminal, the capacity to, basically make the air solid but bouncy. Well, Gentle Criminal can do that with everything, but this guy can harden air and make them in any shape he wants, as well as any way that is he wants, basically no matter how complex it is. If he knows what he wants to do, he can make it out of air. Problem is, he has to touch it, and 30 seconds after he stopped touching it, it disappears. He basically had a gun and was ready to shoot at Deku and Inko. When Inko said she didn't have money, the guy decided to shoot her. He didn't shoot to kill, though. That's one thing. But he still crippled her, making her unable to actually walk. So Deku's not driven by the pure want to kill someone because he killed his mom, but wanting to defend her and basically hurt the bastard who basically did that to her, as well as him being right in front of Deku. He basically mastered all of his power and basically did his first laser, practically disintegrating the guy. Basically, multiple people who saw what happened with the guy basically hurting Inko. Basically, all they saw for Deku was a kid trying to protect his mom. Just because it's a kid, and emotion can run wild. Yeah, they basically just saw the kid lose control of his quirk and killed the guy. Multiple people were able to see a small part of light kind of goes straight to Deku. Instead of going to a ring, like I said, it goes to his chest for this one. Basically, imagine that there's where the power comes from is basically the middle of his chest. Basically as if he was the lantern itself. So the middle, the chest. So that's where Deku basically had the soul of the guy go. without him even knowing he could do that. Kind of just happened. When authorities arrived, they were told everything that happened. They kind of got why the kid did that. They got that he lost control, and they told him that with a quirk that powerful, he has to try and keep control of it. If he hurts people, it can be bad. Which Deku kind of understand, but they didn't want to believe for now. Basically, for now, he keeps it as, okay, yeah. And basically keeps going on the good side of things for now. Because of how he was taught, he still wants to be a hero. Problem is that, starting because of what just happened, he doesn't want people to be able to go away scot-free. He wants to give them a punishment that goes with what they did. So stealing food because you're hungry, don't have money, or don't want to work, and basically something like that, just stealing food, dot to the line, Deku will basically break your jaw, making it impossible for you to eat. Extremely mean, but basically kind of like putting you in the same situation as before. You wanted to eat, you weren't able to, now you want to eat, but because of your jaw, you can't. If someone kills someone, they're going to die. If someone hurts someone to the same point as they did, like crippling someone, they're probably going to die as well. But with less pain, let's just say it like that. Basically, it goes from stuff that are like stealing, just hurting someone and stuff like that, being him hurting people. And then the moment something is like a lot worse, it starts getting horrible for the one who committed the action. So, yeah, basically, over his life, he was kind of going like that until at some point something a bit different happened. Inko's not dying, but basically him and Bakugo were he was going to the mall, Bakugo was with them. Basically Inko and Deku were just going to buy stuff, so she was in a wheelchair, and he was pushing her around. Bakugo basically saw him and came with them after a while, just kind of to be there for her. And Deku must be the most unluckiest guy around, because a second villain comes around. Didn't kill anyone, but the quirk of the guy was to be able to put people, to knock people out. The problem is, when he knocks someone out, the only way to bring them back is or for him to touch them again, or for him to be put unconscious. Problem is, if he dies, his quirk isn't dispelled on people. And he used his quirk on multiple people as well as Inko. Didn't work on Deku, and Bakugo was able to protect himself. But yeah, basically, Deku saw the guy knock out Inko, and basically just lost it. with Bakugo knowing damn well that you don't do that. Not while he's there. And this is the second moment where Deku actually gets a new, well, I'll call them summons most of the time, but they're basically just allies. Kind of. So, yeah, Deku kind of kills the guy, making it impossible for the people he knocked out to actually come back. So, he basically sealed the fate of his mom to being in a coma for the rest of her life, which was the moment where he basically lost it and finally kind of ran away. Basically, what he ran away after the police actually arrived. They said that he was already arrested multiple times, they know his quirk, and then they tell him how his quirk works. And Deku's mind basically breaks. He doesn't know yet that he can summon back people that he killed. If he knew, he would use him to basically bring everyone back to consciousness, because they would still keep their quirks since they keep the exact same power they had. So Deku basically runs away and decides that he would still be a hero, but this time, which is the moment where he decides to put the way he decides to act. Villains are classed in two categories. One where you just have to beat them up. The other ones who did something too bad, you kill them. Basically an anti-hero. He doesn't want to kill heroes though. He actually wants to make sure that heroes are protected. If they attack him, he will riposte. Well, attack back, which could be dangerous. Mostly when you have his amount of power. So, yeah, he's basically a walking, danger. Don't mess with him. That's basically what I'm saying. So, basically, after that happening, Bakugo was looking for Deku a lot. Multiple heroes were looking for him because they want to tell him it's not his fault and that everything's okay. They're keeping Inko alive, well, basically just in the coma. So that's just kind of staying like that. It will stay for a while. Bakugo got one for all. Basically, he said, well, when he met All Might saw his quirk, saw how powerful he was, and asked him if he wanted to have the quirk. Well, no, actually, he asked what resolve he had to basically be that strong and wanting to stop villains, because instead of Bakugo being trapped by the sludge villain, it was someone else being caught in it, and Bakugo attacking the sludge villain, beating it, and saving the person inside. And so, All Might asked him why he was so determined to stop villains, which Bakugo explained, then said that he was looking for his friend. The reason his friend is basically not there, making All Might decide to give help to him. Firstly, giving him One for All, giving him the power that is extremely strong, and All Might asking some of his friends to basically look for a kid who had the power to do arrange light constructs, extremely strong, basically a description of Deku, and saying that if you see a villain that is like that, don't count him as a villain. He's just a kid that basically made a mistake and now he doesn't know how to act. And basically his friends is looking for him. During that time, Deku, for him, he was basically increasing his power, found out about his capacity to make the clones. He doesn't know yet that they have the quirk that they had while they were alive. All he knows is that they are physically strong and have the same power as he has, so he kind of just keeps it like that. Shit. So, for now, basically, Deku trained a huge amount. He killed many people. Like, a really huge amount of people. Basically, he has like 40 or 50 people in his army already that he could create to basically fight against villain. Since if one of them kills someone, they absorb it, which then gets passed to Deku. In itself, that makes it quite powerful because, well, they kill something, he gets it as well. Doesn't count animals and other things like that, but still. So, that's why Deku basically has that much. Physical strength, basically think of it as he can lift multiple cars easily, flight, and he can fly. His speed is almost the speed of, well, almost 2 times the speed of sound, which is pretty powerful, mostly because for about a year all he was doing was flying around the entire planet looking for a place to be alone, until he decided to go back to Japan. During that time, though, he was killing people when they were attacking others. Basically, for a while, he was known as a vigilante that was all around the globe. They thought it was a group of people, until they kind of realized that every time they saw him, it was the same exact person. So, yeah, basically, Deku has kind of a name, basically the orange light, simply because, well, that's one of the most, well, it's kind of one of the things everyone see when he's around, an orange glow around him, and what he uses. So, it's kind of normal to see why they would call him that. So yeah. In the next part, I'm going to say basically the person I basically add to class 1A. Or you know what, I'm just going to add it right now. Basically I'm just putting a guy. I'm not going to give him a name because it won't matter. His quirk will simply be a kind of shock absorption like Fat Gum. He can take a hit and send back the attack, but compared to Fat Gum, who needs fat around him to protect himself, this kid basically has, no matter what the damage is, he can basically absorb it, and as long as he's still standing, if he throws a punch, every damage on his body basically heals and can send straight through whatever he hits. and basically depending on the amount of damage he got, that's how strong his punch will be. So basically, even if you cut an arm off of him, if he punches, everything will just heal back. If he's not able to actually release... Well, no, actually. The power does have a limit, though. He has a 5-minute time limit. If he isn't releasing the power, basically punching, kicking, or whatever, doing damage to an enemy, using all of the damage, 5 minutes after that damage was done, it won't heal. Meaning he is on a time limit for how much damage he can take. As well as he needs to stay conscious, still be able to hit, and stuff like that. He can just hit the ground and it would do the same thing. So it's not as if he has to hit something or someone. He can also just punch the air. It's basically just going to do a blast like All Might. But he has to release the energy to be healed. That's basically the point. Meaning he can, as long as he's not knocked out, he can basically just continue. Problem is, the guy in itself doesn't have that much stamina. So he can tank, but not that much. So yeah, it's basically a double-edged sword for him. He needs to take a lot of hit for his power to be good, but he can't take a lot of hit because even when he tries to train his body, it's still hard to do. So yeah, basically that's going to be the power of the guy I'm adding instead of Deku. So yeah. In the next part, I'm going to do the entrance exam for Bakugo and that new kid. That I'm probably just going to call him by his hero name that I'm going to give him. Haven't chosen yet. So yeah, basically I'm going to basically say that in the next episode. I'm going to tell you the two names I have for him. You're going to be able to decide for yourself. So yeah, basically hope you liked it. Leave a like if you did. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Later today, I'm probably going to finally do part 1 of Oni Slayer Deku. Also, Oni Zerg really put a funny comment on part 0A, basically saying that the name was basically like I was attacking him. Well, not directly saying that, but basically saying that he felt targeted by it, because the first part of his name is Oni, and Deku is an Oni Slayer. Well, I basically laughed my ass off this morning reading that. But yeah, I'm also going to leave a link to my Discord in the description. Come and join us if you want to, it's pretty fun there. So yeah, hope you liked it. Natsu, out.